Well, in the previous class, we were dealing with the textual explanation of the essay, The Quest for Happiness, written by H.S. Dalai Lama. In the first part of the text, we came across the discussion made by H.S. Dalai Lama regarding human hope, how human beings are working for happiness, how common people think that happiness is the ultimate aim of human life. They believe that to bring happiness in human life, certain things are basically wealth is very necessary. Unless there is a wealth, one cannot live happy or satisfactory life. Dalai Lama also has focused on importance of wealth in human life. He says that a monk or a sage or an ascetic living in the cave of the mountain, he also needs food to fulfill his hunger, or he needs clothes to cover his body. So material things are necessary to make life comfortable. He says that only material things are not sufficient to bring happiness in human life. There is a need of mental level. Mental level is the key of happiness. He also quotes the study of psychology and social sciences, in which it has been proved that material things are not sufficient to make life free from all kinds of worries and sorrows. Only material things cannot bring happiness in human life. Research in these two disciplines has proved that there is a need of mental level, or mental level is the key of happiness. Today we are going to deal with the second part of the text. The second source of human happiness observed by Dalai Lama is health. He admits to the importance of physical health and suggests precautions that should be taken with regard to eating, sleeping, exercising, and the need to consult a qualified doctor in case of illness. But he rejects the view that health should be considered as an entirely responsible source of happiness. He rejects equating good physical health with happiness. He gives the example that a person with strong body may not be happy. On the contrary, a person with weak body can be happy. Finally, he comments that health is like wealth, is not the ultimate source of happiness. Happiness is related to the state of mind, outlook, motivation, and our level of warm heartedness towards others. So, Dalai Lama discusses the second source of happiness is health. And further, at the outset, he admits importance of health and he suggests certain precautions regarding eating habit, sleeping or exercise, etc., etc. And he suggests that when someone is ill, he should consult with the qualified doctor. But he rejects the view that health should be considered as an entirely responsible source of happiness. He is not ready, or he doesn't equate good physical health with happiness. He gives the example that a person with strong body may not be happy, or a person with weak body may be happy. Finally, he comments that health is like wealth and is not the ultimate source of happiness. So he says that there is a need of mental level or state of mind, let us say, where warm-heartedness should be there towards others. So in this section, Dalai Lama speaks about human health, and though people believe that human health is very important to achieve happiness, it's okay, but Dalai Lama does not equate health with happiness. Finally, he says that a person with strong body may be unhappy, a person with weak body may be happy. So only health is not responsible to bring happiness in human life. What is required is state of mind. State of mind is very essential to bring happiness in human life. The third source of happiness considered by Dalai Lama is friendship. He views the importance of genuine friendship, which is required for one's well-being, and rejects superficial relationship deliberately developed for money, social credit, and appearance, which continues till it is present with the person. So Dalai Lama gives an importance for that friendship which is established in the real sense, and the friendship which is established on the superficial level for the sake of money, or for the sake of social credit or appearance. This kind of friendship is not approved by Dalai Lama. He says that friendship, the source of happiness is friendship, but it should be established at the real level, not on the superficial level, let us say. Dalai Lama puts a question mark on such superficial relationship and points out to the danger in seeking happiness with such friends who disappear in time of need. So he says that true friendship should be there. Superficial friendship may not help you in your hour of need. This is what Dalai Lama says. He gives the account of meeting a Christian monk, on which he gives an example of a Christian monk on his visit to Spain many years ago. The monk had spent 5 years living as a hermit behind his monastery, meditating on love. So Dalai Lama gives an example of Christian monk who spent 5 years of his life meditating on love. Dalai Lama noticed that the depth of feeling in the monk's eyes was revealed more through his eyes than his words. So his feelings were noticed. Dalai Lama says that his feelings, whose Christian monk's feelings could be noticed through his eyes rather than through his words. This example reveals warm-heartedness which connects one to others, although one is alone. According to Dalai Lama, an inner affection, concern, and warm-heartedness towards others is only an alternative to human isolation. If you want to remove isolation from your life, if you want to live happy life, what is necessary is one should be warm-hearted towards others, and this is the only alternative according to Dalai Lama to human isolation. Briefly, in this aspect, the Dalai Lama looks at the resources of happiness. So let us deal with the text. It is clearly the case that genuine friendship can only be based on trust and affection, which can only arise when there is a mutual sense of concern and respect for each other. So feelings of trust and loving kindness, which counteract feeling of isolation or loneliness, do not come from the mere external presence of others or from the outer appearance of friendship, but from one's own attitude of concern and respect toward these others. Their ultimate resource is within us. During a visit to Spain many years ago, I met a Christian monk who had spent 5 years living as a hermit behind his monastery. I asked him what he had been doing all the time. He replied that he had been meditating on love. When he said this, in English even more broken than mine. I saw such a depth of feeling in his eyes that there was no need for him to say any more. Here we have an example of someone who lived alone but felt no loneliness. It is warm-heartedness or compassion about all which connects us to others. People who appear to have many friends and admirers may nevertheless feel quite isolated. I would remind such people that the only attitude to such loneliness is their own inner attitude of affection, concern, and warm-heartedness towards their fellow human beings. So, in the last part of the essay, Dalai Lama gives an example of a Christian monk who spent 5 years behind his monastery meditating on love, and he noticed that the depth of feeling in the monk's eyes was revealed more through his eyes than his words. This example reveals warm-heartedness which connects one to others although one is alone. According to Dalai Lama, an inner affection, concern, and warm-heartedness toward other is the only alternative to human isolation. Briefly, in this excerpt, the Dalai Lama looks at the resources of happiness valued by human beings such as wealth, health, and friendship, but he concludes that these sources are not sufficient to bring happiness in human life. What is necessary is the inner state of mind, and that is the master key of human happiness. His teachings in this essay on happiness are very, very relevant to today's world. So, dear students, with this, I would like to stop here. In the following class, we shall deal with the last unit of this syllabus for English compulsory second year, and that is unit number 8. In this unit, the first section, this unit has been divided into two sections. First section deals with grammar, in which we will be studying active voice and passive voice, and in the second section of the same unit we will be studying communication skills, in which we will study writing for print, writing for the electronic media. So, dear students, with this, let me declare that the study of the essay The Quest for Happiness, written by H.S. Dalai Lama, is over. After completing, or after having completed the last unit of this semester, we shall have MCQ exercise on all the elements included in the syllabus of English compulsory for semester 4th. With this, dear student, with this message, I would like to stop here. Rest of the things we shall continue in the following class. Thank you very much.